Awesome, we are online. Welcome, welcome, welcome. On this semi-dreary, well, it's not really semi-dreary, but it's a very cloudy, but still overcast kind of an afternoon here. As we kickstart things, apparently with a weather report, because I've got a funny suspicion, and I was right. We've got a big H over our coast, which is great for nice, calm, serene weather. So that's nice. However, if all you're dealing with is a lot of persistent clouds and overcast and, mid-teens temperatures as a high, and I've just realised my camera's just a bit naff there. Let's try it. Some sort of... I don't know. We'll try it. Sorry, my monitor got shifted, so everything's out of whack. However much a whack is, but, we'll run with it. It does mean that because everything's so calm, there's nothing to shift the clouds away, so it's just hanging around as I thought it was. But there we go. So wonderful. Oh yeah, what do we got there? Oh yeah, and then look at that, and then a whole bunch of low pressure comes, so it's going to get probably wet this week. Oh fun! But that's okay because this week, still not happy with this camera. I'll sort that out later. Fortunately, this week I'm only working 3 days. And also, we return with the Lunch of Champions. So hello to the macaroni, beef and cheese. I've also put a little bit of curry powder in there, as well as some a mixture of Edam and aged vintage cheddar throughout. So I'm looking forward to this. So apologies in advance. I haven't had lunch. That's what this is, and it's going to be so good. Also, I did road test my 2 other emulators for Master System titles. One completely locks up and refuses to do anything at all, even with compatibility mode, with whatever. And the other one drops and just returns to like this, for example. So, Mecha is it, which means I'll never get to full screen because then it's very unstable. So I will look for a 4th different emulator some other time. Which is a shame because I don't mind the other emulators, but obviously if they don't go, they don't go. So yeah, it's Sunday, which means dust off the Sega. And for the astute repeat custom among us, you'll have noticed that my games list has slightly widened. So we've got some other ones here. And we're not going to play that today, but I figure because it's a World Cup year, football World Cup year, we can play an old throwback, which my dad and I used to play a lot, and there's some great backstories with that for another Sunday. Today, because we did Sonic the Hedgehog last week, this week we're going to play the sequel while I eat. That's so good. Seriously, if you've never had mac and cheese like this before, hit me up. It's really easy to make. And I'm surprised the Oxo cubes work, but I've run out now. But I'm not going to start with Sonic 2. What I'm going to start off with is original Sonic. And I created a save state. Because I made a promise that... I mean, I've got to play the special stage, but that's a nice little compromise. That's fine. So this is a game I'm playing, not playing. just get through that. Doesn't matter what I do with it. Oh my goodness. This controller doesn't feel right. At least I'm gonna... Okay, there we go. Whatever. So I made a promise that I would speed run the waterfall. So that's what I'm gonna do. So how fast can I climb up the waterfall? I did some practice offline. So here we go. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. This is sleeve worthy. Let's go. Oh, wrong way. Good start. Sticky button. Okay. We'll try that again. Oof. That could have gone a cropper. Oh, we want that, we want that, we want that. The problem is that you can actually go faster than the game will actually can keep up. Which is a bit of a pain, but, you know. It's also why we do the half jumps. And that monitor is really badly placed. Might as well get the extra life while I'm at it. I feel like this is slow. Ah! Oh! Close. Try again. Okay, that got sticky. So tell you what we're gonna do. Another time. But you can see how you can quickly go up the things, albeit my button got a bit strange. So we'll do that another time. For now, it's sequel time. So Sonic 2. So before I kickstart this and I have another mouthful of macaroni cheese, some explanation on differences. Ow. I can't even get my fork on the macaroni. My goodness. So anyway. See. You can think of it as a list of pros and cons. So one that's both a pro and a con is that there are no special stages in Sonic 2. The con, of course, is that the special stages are kind of fun and they add that extra layer to the game. So the fact that they're absent from Sonic 2, okay, we'll just have to deal with that. They come back in Sonic Chaos, but yeah, we don't have to concern ourselves with them in Sonic 2, which itself is a pro because it removes the pressure of collecting between 50 and 99 rings for the first however many. If we borrow Sonic 2 or Sonic the Hedgehog, it removes all pressure from the first 4 levels, first 2 acts each, to get a certain number of rings. So you kind of freed up from that, and therefore 100% in the game is a lot easier to do. It literally just reduces it to collect all the emeralds. The other interesting nuance with Sonic 2 that Sonic the Hedgehog didn't have is that not only are there's scope for multiple extra life monitors in a single level, but they respawn if you lose a life. So on most levels you can farm extra lives because you can, pop 3 monitors, for example, lose a life, pop 3, lose a life, you're always increasing your pool of extra lives. It's great. However, again, with both versions, if you hit 100 rings, you get an extra life, and your ring count resets to 0. But again, not a biggie in the absence of special stages. So that's quite nice. The other slight con is that points are cosmetic. So it doesn't matter if you get 10,000 or 100,000, your points don't actually have any bearing whatsoever. You don't get an extra life every 50,000. Your points just are. So that's kind of a minus, but that's fine. The other nice thing. So tasty. Is in this version of Sonic, again, there are 6 levels. 7 actually, but yeah, 6 levels. You still got to find 6 Chaos Emeralds. This time they neatly appear on Act 2 of every level in the first 6. Actually, the first 5. This to me is another con, because if you're able to find the first 5 Chaos Emeralds, then all you have to do to get the 6th one is just finish Act 3, because the boss gives it up for you if you've got the first 5. And I'll explain this a bit later. There's also the chance, and this happened to me when I had it on the console, there's a chance for the game to get stuck on Act 3. And I'll show why, if I remember. I'm pretty sure I'll remember. That being said, before I take another mouthful, or actually no, I will take another mouthful. Again, hungry. This cheese is good too. Let's begin. So a little bit of backstory. In Sonic 2 Master System, I've just turned my voice down. You meet Tails for the first time. I realise you meet him in Mega Drive and all that, but as far as the Master System goes, you meet Tails the Fox as an NPC. And so the whole point of Sonic 2 is you've got to rescue him because Robotnik's kidnapped him. That's where the emeralds come in. Oh, whoopsie. Although this time you can pick up rings. Oh my gosh. Terrible! There you go. And as you've just seen, there are little secret passageways, which you've got to keep an eye out. Oh no, and now I'm stuck. Darn it, I wanted to stay up there because there's another extra life monitor. I could just lose life and grab it, but there was the fun in that. Oh yeah, and in Act 1 you get these little rail cars, which are kind of cool. Now, is this enough? No. So once again, Panel finishes the level. Robotnik gives you nothing apart from the privilege of finishing an act. Rings, of course, grant 10 rings. Sonic grants an extra life. There's no longer an exclamation mark. However, you can also spin Tails, which grants you a continue. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to do this. That's my insurance policy. You'll see why in a minute. This needs a bit of timing, which I'm going to have to... Whoop, that's late. Yes! Because you have to be up here for the emerald. Oh my gosh. I don't want to do that. Yeah, you can tell straight away which ones are the ones that break because they look like pluses rather than, you know, that typical brick pattern. Catch all the rings with your chin! Ooh! Oh, let's get extra life. Excellent. And... whee! Excellent, now gotta get this right. Jump! And that's how you get the first emerald. Which happens to be right above the... That's... And I do the spin into those carriages because then when I jump, I'm faster jumping out. That's why I do that. With hopefully sure. Act 3, of course, is always... well, it's always a boss, but this time it's not necessarily Robotnik, so now you've got to fight different bosses. Now, he always rescues you, which is kind of strange. This is pretty much how you beat the first boss. Don't let the cannonballs hit you. Don't spin into the funky thing with arms. And that to me makes no sense, but okay. Hit that thing, release the animals. Neat. Oh yeah, I like level 2 because you get hang gliders and collapsing bridges. Oh, I was mashing that. Oh, okay. And I think I've still got to do my FF7 grind with this controller. I've got 12 hours of broken buttons to go. Oh, perfect. Hard left. Because... and that's what I mean about multiple extra life monitors. Nice one. Such happy music though, isn't it? Yeah, my X button is so unresponsive, it's quite funny. Now how you control this? Periodically press backwards and you rise. If you hold it, you grind to a halt and you just drop like a rock and you pretty much can't recover from it. Oh. This one might take me a while because the emerald is slightly tricky to get. There's two ways to do it. Either through a hang glider or through a series of hidden springs. Also on this level you get wind assist, as you'll soon see. I'm just going to have my microphone up while I eat. we go. Actually, that's a good example there. You'll notice I'm on a cloud, but it acts like a spring, which means some of these clouds you can walk on. I would have preferred nuts. I would have preferred using the hang glider because there's a specific part. Oh dear me. Cancel that. Oh, not good. Okay, I'm dead. It's probably for the best because it's quite tricky. Best reach with the hang glider, so we're going to spin into it. Oh no! Don't hit! Oh good, there we go. Now we can speed up, get the wind, tap right to sort of dampen it. And then it also, because if you go too high, oh, there it is. Okay, now I've got to get this right. Missed. There's a spring up there. Oh, okay, here we go. That's a spring. Right. Oh no, that's fine. This is where it gets real hard, eh? Actually, I'm gonna go this way. What I'm trying to find is like one of those single clouds. Not so easy. Is it here? No. How did I not pick up a ring? Come on. Cheap. Okay, here we go. Let's know where that spring is, so that's something. I'm just struggling to find the next one. I know that's one. We'll go up. Like that. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to use... Because if imagine these clouds as columns. If I step one column to my left, I fall. You can see it from that straight edge. So I'm trying to use these columns to sort of determine where the spring cloud is, and it's really quite hard. Maybe it's here. Oh, I've just seen where it is. Okay, I know where it is. I've got to go 2 back. I'm pretty sure it is. This is probably the worst emerald to try and get. It really is. Okay, try that again. That was the same place, wasn't it? Oh gosh. Now I ran out of rings. Tricky, tricky. Okay. Same place. Difficult to line it up, eh? It really is. Okay. Missed it. Okay. Oh no, no, no. Oh yes. Yes, got the ring. That's another pro. At least dropped rings can be collected again. Actually, I can use this. That's the cloud. Okay. So it's past. Okay. 2. Right. I've got my reference now. Okay. We can do this. Here. No, it's not! Dang it! Okay, back we go to the drawing board. I do apologise. This bit is actually quite... Oh gosh. Missed everything there. This bit's probably the worst part, and I'll tell you what... Oh gee, I missed it. Missed the cloud entirely. It's just as well that... Time bonuses? Oh, for goodness sake, now I'm losing my range. This is what frustration looks like. Oh, I had it right and then I moved! Okay. I've got my reference now. Goodness me. Here's my cloud. There. Got it. Let's get an emerald. I'm pausing that so I can eat. Goodness me, that took like, what, 3 minutes? Crazy. Anyway, you can also get that with the hang glider at the start of the level, but you've always got to time when you dip, or how much wind you get. But it is possible. My goodness, let's finish this level. I'm glad that's done. Man, at least we've got 2 emeralds. Also, it's worth mentioning, you get to continue with every emerald you get. And there are no extra life monitors on F3. Quite hard to see amongst the clouds, these guys. For that. I was making hard work of that, wasn't I? Right, Act 3's kind of, Level 3's kind of fun. Similar to Labyrinth in that you get the timer underwater. However, there's a little extra that I want to do. With Act 1, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but we'll see. Or I might be able to. Now behind here is an extra life, but there are also other extra life. Right, I only want 7 more rings. Which I can get. Now, if I've done this right... Oh, I don't want to land on that. Oh, there's arrows. Okay, there's arrows. Now, if I've done this right, have I done it? Yes! Tails. Get 77 rings without recycling, without losing a life, or, you know, without losing your rings, and you should get a Tails panel. I'm so glad I showed that. Now, this one's a bit trickier because you only know you're underwater once you start moving slower. Oh, like that. Oh. What if there was a way you could get that? But you can't. Which seems a bit mank, but okay. Oh my gosh! That's bad. Oh dear. I tell you what, I don't have the leverage. That happened. Wow, never had that before. Right. Let's try that again without drowning. What, we'll go this way. Yeah, you're a lot slower this way. Now, just like the labyrinth, there are bubbles you can breathe, but there's also bubbles you can ride. Fortunately, both provide you with much needed oxygen. However, it's not immediately obvious where each spawned from, which is a bit annoying. Except for that one. Although I don't really need extra rings, but you know. That way. Jump. Oh yes. But they do tend to spawn periodically, which is quite handy. And you can also drive how high or how fast it goes by just going up and down. It's fine. Oh my gosh. Missed. I don't really need. And that guy tracks you, which is, you know, just great. I'm gonna grab the oxygen, because I want to go down here. Oh! That's probably because I was spinning, right? What the heck's this way? Oh, hey! Secret! Yeah, Act 2 in particular has a number of these little rooms. Also, you have to jump. Oh, far out. That's like ice. Alright, now we're moving a bit faster. Now, I'm going to have a rant while I have another eat. Because in the game, that should increase your speed. And just like Sonic 1, it only ever appears once in the game. Act 1 of Green Hill was Sonic 1. Aqua Lakes Act 2 is right here. Okay, that aside, apart from the really cool music that you get, it doesn't increase your speed. So it's a waste. This is a wasted opportunity. Also, while you're in this bit, hold left. Emerald. And then, we're underwater again. Hold up. And you want to do this because there's a nifty secret. Because to the right is the end of the level. What we're going to do though, we're going to do this the hard way. I'll at least demonstrate the whole level. I feel like I should have gone up there. I think there's like rings or something. Anyway, while we're at it. Yes. Okay, so we need to ride a bubble. But we have to avoid spikes. Spears. So we hold down, go towards the spear, hold down, and then go up. Towards the spear, hold down. Oh, don't go anywhere near him because he'll chase you. But then at least he backs off. But if you bump into a wall or a roof or anything else, obviously you're gonna pop your bubble. What's nice? Oh yeah, the spikes. So I'm holding down, and oh, how did that not pop? And you actually have to ride this the whole way because you physically can't reach those. We're now above the water line. We're just gonna pop. There we go, and that's. Oh, how about that? So I just got an extra life because I was on 90 rings and I get no ring bonus. I completely overlooked that. Probably need the extra life after I drown. So, here we go again. I like how if you fast enough you can skim. That's kind of cool. I'm actually going to go this way because it's generally quicker than going underwater. Now, you get the seal boss. And that's how you beat him. If I jump now, he's going to bounce me. Which I might demonstrate shortly. I kind of like how in Sonic 2 you're not necessarily fighting iterations of Robotnik, but you've got different enemies. Yeah, 3 emeralds. This is kind of a cool level, actually. Oh my. Do I want to ride that? Not really. Actually, yes I do, because there's an extra life up there. One, two. Although those loop-the-loop things are kind of fun. Now at this point you can go high or low, it doesn't really matter, and I blew that. As soon as I jumped I knew I'd stuffed that. Take the platform. Mind you, that spring's the only way that you get that. Oh neat, and then we'll go back to that junction. Generally the idea is to have an eye on the platform at all times, don't jump line. Man. What's this way? More rings. Of course. Don't muff that. There's extra life up there and I just blew that. Ah well. Why haven't you even played the game for ages? And yet I remembered all of the secret areas in Aquib Lake. Ha! Fortunately, getting the emerald here is nice and easy. And there's a neat little trick that you can increase your odds of success. Wow, my goodness! Wow! It's kind of funny how there's rings down there but no platform. Oh, okay. That's what the springs are for. You can always come back to that. Oi! Oh, really? Harsh. Fine. That's right, I forgot to mention, enemies actually respawn in this one. Okay, now this is the way to the emerald, but what you want to do is you want to do that. Because what happens is if you move a lot quicker, and you want these ones. And then you want to do this, and then stop! Oh! You can get the emerald by doing that without doing like a pre-spin, as I call it, onto the springs. But it's a lot trickier to judge distances and speed and all that sort of carry on. So again, I just prefer to increase my chances. And as you can see, most of what you're going to spin is nothing. I do not like that three. A3 is tricky because you basically got to do it blind. Springs and spikes, and the fact that you can't see anything is not a good combination. Oh! Why did I hesitate? Why did I hesitate? Whoa, that was close. I've never liked Act 3, I really haven't. That should be it. Yep. This guy can be tricky. Because he'll do that, or he'll fly to stool. And when he's like that, do not touch him under any circumstance. Ever. May require some timing! Doing that a lot, isn't he? Yeah, timing is everything in this. He hasn't gone below yet, because there's 3 ways he moves himself. Oh, there it is. I'll just talk about that, and hopefully... Yes! How's that for timing? Oh. Now, in Gimmick Mountain, the vehicle of choice is a flywheel, which you can speed up or slow down with right and left respectively. And your release point is exactly as you'd expect your high school physics to behave. If you've ever been studying rotational dynamics and inertia, and you've heard of a thing called tangential velocity, that's pretty much how these things function. If you haven't been paying attention in physics class, come on, it's not that bad. Oh, that was bad. Now the funny thing is, there's actually a shortcut in this one. Oh, and there's also secret areas. Oh no, it's Act 2 that has the shortcut. There's a conveyor belt. I don't think there's any secrets that way. There are not. Oh no, there are. That's right. Oh, okay. Oh, if you continue riding it, then you'd end up there. Ooh, blimey! I'm really on a roll today, aren't I? Okay, we're just going to sit in this one. One moment. Excellent. Sorry about that pause. I just saw that message, which I thought was sticky button, and I'm not even playing Final Fantasy, and I'm whinging about my sticky button. Sorry. Anyway, what'd you say? You said heat pump dryer. Oh, washer dryer. Oh, sorry. I sold a washing machine yesterday, and the guy just got back to me, and all I saw was like, it's beyond repair, and I thought, crap, surely not the one that I sold him, because it was working when I sold it. But he's referring to his old machine. Cool. So that's quite nice. Now, this emerald is quite tricky. At least for years, while I keep having my now cold pasta, for years I could never find the fifth emerald. And then for some strange reason I had this weird epiphany, like, see that kinda, it looks like two black pluses just above the octagon? I thought, what's up with that? And I tried attacking it, and then I discovered something. But oh, you'll see. So I did that, and I discovered this. And then I discovered this. And I thought, well, that's interesting. And then I kept on playing and discovered that. And then I discovered that. So now we have 5 out of the 5 emeralds that you can get, which will bring me to my next rant later. But for now, that is such a cheeky spring, and believe it or not, because of that flywheel, it's really easy to hit. Oh no! Oh yes! Ah! I'm fine. Oh dear. Oh, hang on a minute. We haven't even got all the things down there. What's down there? Conveyors, of course it is. I thought it was going to be spikes again. There are spikes below those conveyors, which is very, very mean. Go, 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 go! And there's also one of those flipping bombs, which is really mean. But then there's a secret. That's the only reason I came this way, is for that monitor. Now, I don't think these pigs throw balls at you. They just hop. Not like the ones in Scrap Brain. a bit easier to deal with. Oh, higher. There's also another secret, but it's literally a room with spikes, and don't even bother going that way because the spikes extend all the way to the end of the room. I don't think you can see, but yeah, there's no point. Ow! Oh, unless I get another 10 rings, but yeah, tricky level. Come on. Oh. Sorry. Arranging delivery. Okay. Let's finish this off. This can be quite a tricky level. Actually. Especially with these platforms, because this one just behaves up and down. This one does all sorts of things, and you have to follow it. Like, that'll squish you, and then... Oh, the crucial thing is that you never let it out of your sight. The minute you do, it disappears and you are stuffed and you have to force yourself onto the spikes. And then jump off because it falls down into a pit where there's spikes! And then there's this guy. Oops. Oh, I didn't push the button. Okay. Those 3 rocks that you saw fall wherever you are. But as you also saw, what makes this boss tricky apart from that, or in addition to that rather I should say, is his spikes disappear only for a very short while, so you've got a limited window of opportunity. So basically you have to hit the pig and dodge the rocks at the same time because they're going to fall near the pig because that's where you're going to be. So all of a sudden, this part of the level is actually the easiest part. Oh dear me. Oh, you don't want to hit too far in behind of it because otherwise you actually, believe it or not, you'll miss and you'll lose a life. But if you hit him quickly, he doesn't actually spawn any rocks. But it's rare. That's like a very rare hit. I've got that rare hit again. And then come to my favourite level of all, along with my last range. I love Scramble Zone. This is another fun one. This is another fun one to speedrun, so we will save. Alright, so we saved it. So, I'll just play the level normally. Extra lives, blah, 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 whatever. Just play the level. And then later on, because I got that save state, albeit with 1 second on the clock. Probably should have saved it while the title screen was there. Speedrun. This is a really fun level to do as fast as you possibly can. I think my best time is about 1:30, which we're not going to achieve here. And this is why I like this level so much. There's like these pipes and it's all like mazes and crap. It's just so much fun, this level. You could spend ages trying to get all the rings. I mean, I'm not going to get every single ring. I'm not that pedantic. It's just such a fun little level. Oops. If you're going to farm extra lives, this is the level to do it, and there's so many. Oop. We won't bore you with that. Actually, wasn't there something down here? There's a spring. I ain't going there. Okay, let's go. Such a fun level. Oh, extra life. Extra life. Ooh. As you can appreciate, it's very easy to get. Oh, flip! Disoriented. Probably why they put that bomb there. Perfect enemy to have on this level. And of course, because they respawn, guess who's back? Oh, he's... I was going to jump over that, but... Wow! I hardly ever do that. Well, first time for everything. This is what I get for not speedrunning. Right, here we go. So we do that. Naturally, when I did the speedrun, I didn't get... Oh, hang on, what's going on here? I can't jump. That was weird. It wouldn't let me jump. What's this way? Spikes! Oh! Bombs! Oh, it's all happening. Gosh! You want to go right, and you want to go down. Or left and down. Right! Down. Platform. And you'll notice that marks a point of no return. Such a fun game. Yeah, as you can see, real good fun, eh? Not that you need to do that part. Jump. Now, do I remember this? I think I do. Go down, right, down, left. There it is. Okay, a modest 314, complete with cock-ups, bombs, spikes, but really fun to speedrun, eh? Really is. Which I'll do at the end of the game. I'll come back and speedrun that. Okay. promise this is my last rant of Sonic 2. This is Act 2 of Scrambled Egg, right? We've seen an idea of what's capable for Scrambled Egg Zone with all the pipes, and you can just imagine the labyrinthine level you can make with that. You can't get the Chaos Emerald here because, as I said at the start, it's relinquished by the boss, assuming you've got the first 5, which I do. I feel like this is a wasted opportunity for the game devs who could have... I mean, with a level like this, right, your imagination is your only limit as to how do you hide, I guess, the emerald. But what would I know? Bombs! Oh, I've done it again. Spikes! Sorry, that's probably quite loud in your ears. Now we'll go this way because... Not fast enough because we came out of a pipe. Okay. Trying to do that out of a pipe is... Oh, I've done it again. Amateur. Now we do it properly. You don't have to take this pipe, but it helps. Merge here. We want to emerge this way because... Oh my goodness, that was not good. You can't get back up that way, but that's fine. What we can do is go... Oh, not that way. That way advances the level, however we want to get... We want to get that. And we want to get up there as well. For that we need a higher... We need higher ring platforms, don't we? Or we need that... Actually, what we needed was that thing, isn't it? Because there's a lot of rings there. Oh well. So be it. Of course, if we go this way, I think there's... pipes? We won't bother, we'll just go. Okay, this bit can be tricky. Get back up this way? No. Okay. This bit can definitely be hard. But we're going to try and make it easy for us. So, wait, do that. Perfect. Because if you do it too soon, you miss the platform because you're quicker than it, and you're on the spikes. And it's pretty much, you can't come back from that. This level's a lot more linear, so it's not as fun to speedrun. You can do it comfortably in under a minute. But it lacks the appeal of Act 1. Now, this act, right? Whether you're playing emulator or console, it doesn't matter. This particular level has the potential to break your game. And hopefully it doesn't happen here. If it does, at least we have a save state. But you know what? You didn't get save states with the Master System. Also, what's really fun is to try and do this level. When you hit that first spring into the pipe, it's possible to make it to the boss without touching any other ground until you're in the boss room. That's a fun challenge to do as well. There's so many fun things you can do. Like missing springs. Platform you land on doesn't count. Hit back a wee bit and jump. Now, like anything. Oof, oof. Ooh, that's cool. Now we haven't seen it yet. Oof, oof. That sometimes the Silver Sonic comes off the ground because when you beat him, and you'll see this, that if you've hit him 7 times, oh, that was risky. Okay, behind the 18 is the emerald, right? You'll notice I finished him off and he rises a bit and then he disappears, and at his highest point the emerald kicks up and then bounces on the ground. You can collect it. If he's already off the... This is the thing. See at the top of the screen you can see those faint blue rocks? If Sonic's already off the ground and you hit him, he's going to rise again and he's going to toss the emerald up. It's going to go above the screen and it doesn't come back down. And you are standing there. It doesn't apply here because we've got the emerald. But what happens in that situation is you have to wait for 10 minutes to run. You lose a life and you've got to do it all again. But that's how you can break the game. And then thankfully the timer doesn't stop when you beat the boss. Because if it did, you would literally break your game and there's no way to advance it if you kick the emerald up. However, that didn't happen. We have 6 emeralds, 6 levels, which unlocks the Crystal Egg Zone, which is a whimsically fun level to play. Also, if you've played this level... Now that's a monitor. I don't know what that is, right? If people out there, if you're watching the stream, right, and you haven't chatted, but if you're watching the stream and you've played Sonic 2 on the Master System and you've collected that monitor, I don't know what it is. If you know what it is, please stick it in chat, because I know it's not a rings monitor because you get a little ring chime. It's not an extra life monitor because you get the extra life chime. It's not Sonic's speed boost because you get the cool music. And it's not invulnerability, you know, the invulnerability monitor, because you get covered in stars and you get a change in music again. So what is that monitor? Because it doesn't make any chime. Observe. That shut me up, didn't it? That shut me up, didn't it? You're kidding me. Or was it a different one? There's a monitor that doesn't have a chime. Maybe it's this way. Ooh! Don't let him hit you. Okay, now we're back at the start. Maybe it's later, but there's a monitor that you hit and it doesn't make a chime and it's flashing. Flying fish? Oh, that's funny. Spikes! Maybe it's up here. Okay, so that's an extra life. That never mind. Oh my goodness. Oh, okay. Maybe it's the next level. Anyway, I'll point it out because it's got me completely perplexed. Anyway, Act 1 is kind of a whatever. Yeah, like I said, there's a monitor you break and it doesn't leave a chime. It's just a ooh. Like, what is that? Act 2 probably is the best level. Like, kind of one of my favorite levels. Because it's long enough to be interesting and difficult, but not too dicey. It's a good level. It's quite a good level. Oh, and down there are spikes, of course. Launch! And so these are tricky. Flywheels. But yeah, tangential velocity is tricky. But at least you got that platform now. And yes, it does fall. Oh, I found it all. And yes, that spring is just the right amount of height. Don't we know it? Oops. Oh no, that's fine. Didn't even need. No! I always keep thinking I'm gonna like hit spikes or something. Well, you will if you go down there. Case in point, I lost a lot of rings there too. Oh my goodness. That one! That's a monitor and it just goes doo-doo-doo. So what is that? Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something very strange. Let's solve the mystery. Awesome. 30 minutes and I get a new machine. Okay, so sacrifice a life to try and answer a question. What is that monitor? Can we infer what it is? Doesn't help that's behind one of these Robotnik blocks. Fortunately, we can do this in a limited number of times. Not that I'm going to, because you'll all tune out and it won't be very fun. Naturally, there's spikes down there. You're trying to hit a moving target. Oh dear. I didn't know about this one. Hey! How about that? I was supposed to do that. Lose a life? How about that? Didn't even know about that one. Oh, that's cool. Neat. Oh. At least that's down there. Now, let's... I wasn't spinning and it broke. What is that? Well, look, I can solve that later because I've got a save state of scrambled eggs zone A. Let's just be done. That was cool finding out about the extra life. Now, speed running the final boss is tricky. But I'm going to try it. Also, I may have a visitor soon. The guy dropped off his machine. Here we go. Oops, I blew that. I've already stuffed that. get a little bit tricky because his order changes quite a lot. Fortunately, while you're inside the pipe, you're immune to this sort of pain and stuff. Oh, I came out at the wrong time. Probably need to come out that left one, but the timing is very difficult. This Robotnik boss is definitely harder than the one on, Sonic 1. And I did the same thing, so you don't want to come out there. Okay. Gotcha. Try this again. Oh! Oh my gosh. That wasn't very good. I thought that was coming back too. You'll notice I held off. Whoa! Now from memory, you've got to hit him. Oh! 12 times. I'm not doing so flash today, am I? You can comfortably hit him one at a time and it's fine. Of course, I'm trying to just, speed it. Actually, I know why my timing's off. Because I normally go clockwise, that's why. Anyway, now we've got 4 of these things. And I can do this. That's better. Release more of those funky little clover leaf things. And of course he's got those. Oh! Pose! Should have come down from the top, right? Although I'm aware of the lightning. Ah. Now we know which way I want to go. Left. Oh! No one's counting that 6, so that should be halfway. You spawn more clovers, okay. I nearly came out of the pipe then. Lightning, cool. 4 more. Okay, that's interesting. So was it like a minute 20 at that hit? Neat. Oh, sorry, you do have to hit him 8 times. Oh, because it was that time I hit him once. Ah. By rescuing tails, we see the real ending. But even with this extra fat, okay, minute 50. But it's like 30 seconds of filler. And there we get the real ending. If you don't get to play Crystal Egg, then the ending is just Sonic running. I always liked Tails. Although back in the 90s, I think it was, there was like a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. It also featured Steve Urkel as the voice of Sonic, which was interesting. Anyway, it was kind of a cool cartoon. But here, and I realise it's not necessarily fact, but here you've got Sonic and Tails as roughly the same height when they're moving, but in the in the cartoon, they've kind of typecast, and I use this by way of analogy. Sonic is this kind of adult, and like Tails obviously looks up to Sonic, and he's even wearing his shoes and whatever. But they've typecast Tails as kind of like this teenager, like this, looking up to his idol. I'm not even sure if that's the actual relationship between Sonic and Tails. I thought they were a little bit more equal than that, but yeah, in the cartoon, it's almost like Tails is this petulant preteen looking up to Sonic, voiced by Steve Urkel. But that's Sonic 2. And you even get a special thanks if you beat the game, regardless of getting Tails or not. Okay, I realise he's shorter there, but still. Adult and tween. I don't know. I don't put a lot of mileage in that. And there it is. And like I said, the points, cosmetic. But we win. Anyways, I'll take a brief pause. That's Sega, excuse me, water. That's Sega Sunday session. Hope you enjoyed that playthrough, including the accidental extra life discovery on Crystal Egg. Haha. Actually, hold on. We're not done yet because I promised you a speed run, didn't I? Also, nice. F7. Okay. Sleeves up. How fast can we speed run? And then I'm going to go do some lawns because I need to do some lawns. But I'll be back later on, probably with Slay the Spire. Off to a flying start already. Love this music. Oh, flew that, didn't I? Floated. And as is usually the case, you've got to give up quite a few things. Like, you know, extra lives and all that sort of carry on, but this is brilliant. These rocks. You can get that one because the platform is, you know... You get a little bit twitchy trying to... Yeah, right. 56 seconds. I think we can really get a good time on this. Wow! 1:06, how's that? That's not bad. 1:06 plus, you know, or 1:05 if you don't include that first second. And of course, I've got the save state so I can practice and have a bit of fun. But yeah, 1:06. That's if you give up everything except for one extra life because it doesn't actually remove time because the platform was obviously whatever. That's not bad. You know, that aside, from the moment, we're going to take a break. I'm probably going to be back later this evening with Slay the Spire. As a treat, and it's a treat in very inverted quotes because I'm not looking forward to it. I've got a save game. I'm up to Act 3 as the Ironclad. And I've got that Vaku guy. And I really don't like any of the three options he gives you. So, I'm going to be playing the Ironclad with the Whispering Earrings, meaning my first turn of every combat is played for me. And I don't know what to expect. So, if you'd like to see what could be success or a cataclysmic disaster, feel free to tune in later on. I'll likely be online. Yeah. We'll see how that goes. But for now, we'll just take a brief pause. And I will hopefully see you all later on. Cool. Enjoy the rest of your days.